Okay, I'm going to start the second part. The first topic will be the cybersecurity and privacy protection by Zeus and Xanadu that I developed. So this is the one that actually that I developed, and for specific technology related cybersecurity and privacy protection. The first is a Zeus cybersecurity solution. So usually I have several business, but the core business is to incubating technology for commercialization and monetization. So this cyber security technology actually originally developed in university, and especially the Hongik University in South Korea, and in collaboration with the Korean university. Actually, the professors and the PhD students developed for over more than 10 years, starting from the simple technology, and then now it's more just one. So I set up the company in US to further develop these technologies and commercialize. So I look at this technology potential. So I'm going to introduce Zeus briefly. So, but you can, here is a Zeus information site. So you can, if you want to see, there is a white paper and brochures and an introductory material. So if you are interested, and then you look at this site. But basically, Zeus is innovative cybersecurity solution. So implement the patented software hardening technology. Software hardening technology is what is mean that I'm going to explain. That protect the system. So for digital infrastructure, there are many digital infrastructure, but typically with the cloud computing system or the like embedded system, like automotive, like system, or the IoT system. So they, this system, for example, the cyber attackers frequently exploit memory corruption and buffer overflow vulnerability in systems for this digital infrastructure. So this is MITRE's common vulnerability exposure. The report. Their report relate to some cyber attack and cybersecurity breach, and then according to their report, cybersecurity attack that exploit the memory corruption buffer vulnerability account for to around 20–40%. So this is a significant number of the like attack vectors using this vulnerability. So they using the and then what, how they this exploiting this one. This is like typically like a 0-day cyber attack. So they do not know until they reveal their attack. So this is using exploiting software vulnerability. And then in relation to software vulnerability, that what the Zeus doing. So Zeus enables systems for digital infrastructure to defend themselves. So defense systems, so they actually defend from existing and emerging cyber attack by hardening the software. So hardening the software means that here is the Zeus Shield software developed in the C and C++ program. So if you're in the software engineering area, you know that why use C and C++ program, even they have some vulnerabilities because of their speed. Right, so the speed is the very important, like a significant factor you consider you're choosing your programming language. For example, that the most of the like AI for the AI application, you may know that the Python will be the first choice, but the source code for this engine, AI engine, is developed by C and C++. Why? Because of the speed. So, but the byway actually they speeding on their execution because they exploiting memory. So they interactively work with the memory of your computing system. So actually the adversaries, so these attackers actually exploiting this vulnerability. They call code point vulnerability in C and C++ program. And then they are this program actually learning most systems for digital infrastructure. They're using this C and C++ program. So this vulnerability will be exploited by the cyber hacker. And then Zeus hardening. Or what is mean by is hardening means that I'm explain later that here, the Zeus use dynamic encryption. So they encrypt these individual code pointers that use in like executing your computer program, and then so they actually protect code pointers that are used to control from the execution of the software codes on memory. So what the Zeus doing is that they provide the software itself as self-defense, because of they actually protect your software to prevent actually the hackers can exploit your program using this vulnerability, because hackers cannot find out how to exploit, because the information of the code pointer will be encrypted by the Zeus. Then how they implement? Actually, the Zeus is implemented in the like compiler. So every programming, for example, like in the C and C++ should be using compiler to be executable. So the Zeus actually the modified compiler and then tool chains to harden executables against for this cybersecurity attack. So they're encrypting code pointers at the beginning. So actually the software developed they actually don't need to worry about whether they have some vulnerability in their program, because Zeus will be automatically put into there is some code snippet and other routines to make the software itself have defensive about this cyber attack vulnerability. So Zeus, what is the advantage? Because this kind of the technology is available out there for a long time, but the Zeus is the first time to be practical. Practical means that to make this program protective, actually the most of the traditional way, actually they put into some heavy burden to the system, so they will overhead. So most of the significant advantage is why they're using the C and C+ program even with this vulnerability, because of speed, but using the some measure to cybersecurity, so they will be the ruin the advantage of using C and C++, because they suck up some computing time. So overhead is the most significant part, and then effectiveness of the how you can protect is another measure. So you should be balanced between the protection and then overhead. And then as far as no, the Zeus is the first actually practically that to provide a reasonable measure plus less overhead. So it can be practically used in any protection of your system software. So we prove it by the Zeus can successfully mitigate real world cybersecurity attacks. So we actually did defense like a simulation. So CV they provide a lot of the reporting about what the cyber security like incident. So we use their information and actually did this the protection against the buffer overflow and memory corruption defect. So here I'm going to show you. Here is actually we did about, for example, NGX web server is a very important web server that used in most of your digital infrastructure system. And then there was a cyber attack incident actually reported using exploiting some vulnerabilities in the system software. So we use that information actually, then we provide like a defense with and without the Zeus, and we prove that within this very acceptable overhead, and then they effectively defend against these cybersecurity measures. So this is one actually the demo for NGX web server attack without Zeus and Zeus, and then this will take some time. But actually, the point I'm going to show is that we can protect against this very sophisticated attack. So this is actually simulate the environment, the NGX web server, and then develop the hacking and then you provide the payload inside of this system, and then they communicate with the hackers, and then they look at the like a vulnerability, and then they like take action to overflow your memory, and then put into their like a snippet, their like a payloads to have a like a malicious code. So actually what they're doing is they divert to your control flow to whatever they want. For example, that when you execute your program, actually you need to go someplace in the memory space, but by the buffer flow attack, actually they redirect your control flow to the like attackers like code pointer. So actually they will be like control your program or whatever they want to do some cyber security breach. So here is a video that actually you can look at if you're interested for details. And then also if you're interested, I can show you live demo that I can show in my computer. So this is one example. And this is another one is that this is the same type of the attack that to the NGX server, but different way, because they actually use brute force attack. So brute force attack that you may heard about in the like to have like your password, and then they doing the brute force attack. So they generate a bunch of the attack, and then try to find out. And then this is very significant attack. And then as far as I know, that there is no any existing solution can protect effectively for this kind of attack, brute force attack. So Zeus is the first time actually the protect your system against this brutal type attack, exploiting your vulnerability. So this is another example that reporting in the cyber attack case in CB year 2013 2028. So if you look at this number, and then there will be what was happened. And then if you look at these two videos and how we Zeus can effectively protect your system. So this is a significant innovation that actually you should be considered if you are serious about protecting your digital infrastructure. This is really important, not just this like a government infrastructure like electric system, and then SCADA or the operating system like industrial system, all they operating this kind of the software. And then the hackers will looking for some opportunity to attack your system based on this vulnerability. And then Zeus can be in the fundamentally protect your system by providing hardening of your software, so they can self-defense against this cyber attack. So if you are interested, then please see this information. Also, if you contact me, then I can talk with you for details. Another one, and then I developed is a Xanadu big data NoSQL database cloud computing solution. So this is also initially developed in Oxford University. So this is the same thing that I incubating this technology and further developed to commercialize and monetization. So this has, because you see that this is a big data platform and solution, so they have many applications, but specifically here I selected some related to cybersecurity and privacy protection. One is defense against the ransomware attack. So for example, that this is one example that what is used in Zeus is actually the Zeus is a database, and then very high performance and sophisticated database. So they can even connect with like commodity hardware systems. So this is the one example actually we did. So this is the just you can buy in any market like Amazon. Is a typical hardware hard driver. So it's a memory system. So it's a storage system that is a commodity system. You don't need to buy the very high expensive server or other. So and then they can they integrate this like a storage to increase your like a memory space, and then everything will be taken by the software. So this is we actually successfully did to integrate with this commodity storage system with our sophisticated database management software to provide this data space. So one function is the Xanadu can provide this big data database. Also, we provide the cloud computing. So this is one example that actually they can use in the against the ransomware, because here is a remote computing system. So this is one example. We did experiment in some South Korean high school. So this is computing room. And then every computer is, here is 100 computer, does not have any program in their CPU. So they only have like a booting system, and then everything will be operated by the remote, by the Xanadu. So Xanadu provide a high speed, like a high volume data traffic control, and then protection by some security measures. So Xanadu have houses in some cloud computing base. Actually, they provide a more significant, more better security measures. And then whenever you turn on the computer, actually all the operating system will be like a transfer to your system and then booted. But actually your source code will be in the cloud. So there is no way actually exporting whatever you have. You don't have any file system or any computing software in your local computer. So here is one example that so even if you attacked by the ransomware, actually you turn off and turn off, and then you will reboot and then remotely reboot by this cloud computing hosted by in the Xanadu. So actually you can turn on again, and then ransomware does not have any effect to your system. So and then you recover every your file in the remotely. So Xanadu provide like a backup for your secure backup of your files. In additionally, they provide operating system, so they provide executing the computing environment plus the secure data storage backup. So this is the two advantages that can be used in the like, for example, like a ransomware attack defense using this Xanadu big data database plus cloud computing solution. Another is like a privacy measure. So for example, healthcare data. So this is one actually that what the Xanadu developers, they integrate the blockchain. And then for secure health data sharing. So for example, Xanadu developed based on machine learning and big data. So this is one example that use case that what the Xanadu did was actually in the hospital environment. Actually, you have like, for example, you have some medical imaging, and then you recognize whatever you have a new image, and then they compare with your database, and then they try to find the most significantly similar image in your database. What they're doing, so there is they call like a similarity search. So this similar image actually already analyzed by the doctors and the experts, so they have all the information. So in the emergency system like that, you have a new image, and you don't know about what the disease and what kind of the treatment and what kind of things you need to be done. And then you using this database, and then you compare with your unknown data to your known data, and then known data have all the information that you provide all the recommendation about the treatment and then what kind of should do. And this is the same thing for the not just on the optical data. So also this can be used in the X-ray data or the ultrasound data. So this will be you can apply like COVID-19 treatment. So you have a COVID-19 infected patient, and then you have like a chest X-ray, and then you have a well-known analyzed COVID-19 chest X-ray data in your database. And then you can compare with this unknown with the known, and then you can get a hint of how you can treatment, what kind of development of the COVID-19 in your system. So this is the one example. So actually this is one. This is a Xanadu big data platform that are launching in your computer. So this is very robust way we develop. and a highly scalable and highly secure the database. So they can be like a scalable data storage to provide whatever you have a big data information, but especially for your healthcare or financial information, like critical information storage they can provide it. This is the same thing. So chest directory you compare with your previous image and find out the most similar one. Okay, so if you have this kind of database and you want to collaborate, you want to increase more database, then the only way is to you collaborate with other institutions like hospital. Then the difficult with this healthcare data is you want to be like take care of your personal information. So it's very difficult to like share your data. So this is one example Xanadu can do is they integrate with blockchain. So they provide this kind of like secure data sharing. So they privacy protection, and also they have owners just to make the like ownership changing, or the let other like institution using your data, but still your data still in your database. So never leave your database. But the other company actually get allowance to access your data because of this hash code based like blockchain information. So they will locate your location of data in the like cryptically like cipher information. So this is one example that the combining blockchain and machine learning and big data with the Xanadu to provide the physical like a healthcare data sharing to protect your privacy measures. Okay, so next topic.